Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I'm just finishing up cultivating this field here. It decided to stop for some reason. It decided it didn't like the machinery right there at the bottom. And the fertilizer spreader did what it usually does and stopped partway down the field right at the end and decided to turn around and do something weird. So there's a little tiny strip up there that hasn't been done properly. As soon as we have dragged this thing up and down the field, we will start spreading fertilizer in here. According to the forecast, it's raining. Doesn't look like it at the moment, but I suspect that it is going to be raining soon, so I'd like to hurry up and get a move on with this. I doubt that we're going to be able to start doing our sowing today. We're going to get a row crop planter and we're going to start planting our corn, but if it's not raining yet, it generally means that's because it's not going to start raining until nearly lunchtime, and then it will rain all day. So we'll be doing our row crop planting tomorrow. We'll start getting corn planted. We've got to get this cultivator back down to the bottom fields. Yeah, there's a tiny strip there that hasn't been fertilized, although I don't think that really matters. So as soon as we finish this, I will get this one back down to the bottom end. I've got the trailer with the bales on over there, and I need to load up all of the silage bales. Those are finished. That's all done. The tractor, the Valtra, is right there with the combo baler on it. I'll get that one unhitched, and I'll also take that one down to the dealership because we've got to get our row crop planter. And I've been having a very careful think about which row crop planter we're going to use, but I'm not quite sure yet. Before we do that, however, my weekly question, take a look here. We're going to be doing forestry very soon. We're going to get our silage planted, and I might even do the forestry while we wait for the corn to grow. I know I said I would do the silage first because that's basically what you guys said to me, but it would actually fit quite nicely if we were to squeeze this in between planting and harvesting. And it would also give us the money to go towards buying or leasing, whichever we decide to do, our forager. Anyway, the Heizomat heating plant, we will have that one and place that back at the main yard, and then we'd have to shred our logs over in the forest and load it all into a trailer, get it back to the main yard and dump them in there. Or we could have the Jenz HE700, and this one takes whole logs. You dump them into that one, and as you can see, converted into wood chips and immediately sold to the sawmill. So you don't deal with the wood chips at all. You just dump the logs straight into that one, and that's it, it's done. I don't know if you get a price reduction. I would assume that both of these give a slightly poorer price than you get if you actually take the stuff to the sawmill. It's kind of the price you pay for having the convenience of putting them a little bit closer. But anyway, it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want. Do you want the Heizomat heating plant, where we put the wood chips in, or do you want the Jenz HE700, where we put the logs in, and we don't have to deal with wood chips at all? That being said, however, there is a mod now out in the mod hub, which is it adds sawdust to the map. So when you do any sawing or use the Ponzi Scorpion, anything like that, it adds a quantity of sawdust. Now, obviously, the game doesn't have sawdust, so what it does is it just adds wood chips, and it kind of the same thing for like a heating plant. You could put sawdust in instead of wood chips; it would work quite well. And so that's what it does. It adds in a few wood chips. So you make little piles of wood chips wherever you're doing your sawing, which means that we'd have to have some way of collecting those up. And that's where it would start to get a little bit more difficult, because you'd either have to make sure you do all of your sawing in exactly the same place, or you'd have to have a very comprehensive way of gathering up all of those wood chips. You wouldn't want to leave them lying around. That's just money. You don't want to just leave money lying around. That's not a good practice. Not a good thing to do. I'm going to start this one going up through here, and then I think I will hang on, let me just get this one going. There we go. Is it going to actually work this time? I think it might. It's looking promising. So I will take the Challenger and the cultivator back down to the main yard so that it is ready to work on those 3 fields down there with our pointless oilseed radishes. And I will also get the Valtra over to the dealership, and we can have a look at loading up some bales. That tractor is now going along quite nicely, spreading fertilizer all over the field. I haven't actually got the Challenger down to the bottom yet. I will soon. The Valtra is down at the dealership and waiting for us, and we're taking these down. Now, this is probably not the best way to load a lorry, putting the light bales of straw on the bottom, the really heavy bales of silage on the top. But yeah, that's just what we decided to do in the end. I do particularly like the flashing beacons on these trailers. They do look good. And incidentally, I would like to know from anybody that does know, obviously in Australia you can have the road trains, and I think you can have up to 4 trailers on a road train. I'm not certain on that, it might be 3. And I think there are like set lengths of road train that you're allowed in certain areas, and then if you go into a built-up area, that changes. But are you allowed something like this in the States? Are you allowed to drag something this long across the road, along the road in the States? You're not allowed something this long in the UK. It's definitely not something that you're allowed to do regularly. I think the exceptions can be made, but you've got to have a special escort to be able to do it. And yeah, but anyway, I was coming along here because I want to get that one there. There's a 1 bale there. Now, I did think about going and getting the loader and doing this properly. Then I thought, well, you know what? Let's just for once do something completely unrealistic. So we are going to drag this lorry right up this steep hill and get this one single solitary bale that decided to go off for a wander all on its own. Yeah. Okay, I think we're really breaking the bounds of realism here, but we've got the bale. Now all I got to do is get down again. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because, like, yeah, that's, see? Okay, whoa, stop. You know what? I think it would be best if we just pretended that I hadn't done that. What's happened there? The back trailer is... Oh, look at that. Look. There, the back trailer is stealing bales off the front load. I've never seen that before. Right, I am going to take this one over to the dealership and we can have a look at the seed drill that we're going to get and start using when we decide which row crop planter we're going to use, and we'll go back to something that's slightly more realistic than floating bales and driving on mountains with a truck. Well, I actually waited up the top until it stopped raining and we've just come down literally just 1700. So I was actually right in my earlier guess that it wasn't going to stop raining all afternoon, because, well, that's just generally what the weather does in this game. If it's going to rain in the morning, it'll finish around lunchtime, and if it doesn't start raining until lunchtime, it doesn't finish until nearly tea time. Yeah, so anyway, we can't start doing the corn planting until tomorrow, but what we will do is we will see if we can have a look at our row crop planters and get one. So if I just come in here, I wish these people wouldn't try to walk underneath a lorry. It's really not it's not the healthiest thing in the world to do, is it? And we'll park this one up here, and then we will run down, let me just turn all those beacons off a minute, and we'll run these bales down the bottom then, and before we go home for the night, and then we can get going with our row crop planting in the morning. At least I hope we can. So I've got this one down here ready and waiting. Let's take a look in here. Now, what I was thinking is we've got the sowing machines in here, and I think we had the Amazon, didn't we? I think we did. I genuinely can't remember now. I think that's the one that we had. I was considering getting the Vardastad because 6 meters, that's quite a good one. It's proved reliable in the other series, in the time-lapse series. The Horsch Maestro does have a 9,000 litre tank and a 9 metre width. However, it's 121,000, and the turning circle on that one I found to be extremely poor. You need a lot of space for that machine. So that's for that reason I'm not all that fond of it. It's not got anything like the turning capabilities of the Condor. So we're not going to go for that one. What I've been thinking though, I was wondering whether we should get Kuhn or not. But if you have a look, and I did have a look, I've done a bit of research on this. Kuhn is available in the US. You have your own Kuhn dealerships over there. They do all sorts of different machines. They even got the animal stuff. They've even got a mixed feeder. It's basically got this barrel bit on the back of a truck, and it's definitely a US style one because the front of the truck looks like that. It's red and looks just like that, and then it's got basically a rigid body that goes on a bit further, and it's got this big barrel thing on the top. Looks fantastic. Definitely American in style. You wouldn't see anything like that running around in Europe. You would see a flat front on it if it was going to be done like that in Europe. So there we go. You've got your very own specialised Kuhn machinery over in the States. But we are not interested in, well, I don't know why I'm looking in cultivators. We're not interested in cultivators. We're not interested in the others. What we want today is that one right there. And I think that we can put it with that one. I don't know if it will go with anything else. The Agco 1500. I think that's that one. I think that is the Agco 1500. And the SB 1600, I'm assuming it is something to do with the sprayer. That's PF. No, maybe not. Is it the fertilizer spreader, maybe? I'm sure that, yeah, there's that one. No, maybe not that one either. You know, I really don't know what that one is supposed to be then. So, sewing machines, and we want this one here. This is a 5.4 meter, so it's nearly as wide as the other one, but it's got the Kuhn capabilities. We've got a much bigger tank, because this one here has got the 1204 litres fertilizer and seed, but this one is just for seed, and that's an extra 1500 litres. That is going to go a lot longer than Nevada Stad, so even though it's slightly narrower, I think overall it would definitely be worth it because we don't have to refill. So if we go for that one and we lease there, $4,320, and then we go to here and we'll lease that one as well. We will in a minute. Your selection is being leased. What's it doing? Let me just, I've got my, you see, I've got the frame rate counter. I actually found out that my recording software can do this. So I've now got it on a hotkey, and we can bring up the frame rate. So it's still at 60 frames a second. Why is it doing that then? Let's see anything wrong here. Let's try leasing it again. Maybe it was just an odd one. No. Let's try buying it. I really don't want to buy it, though. We're going to have to get back to that one. I've got to go and spend the night soon anyway, so yeah, we'll get back to that. Maybe I'll try hitching this on and try it once more. I don't know. I'm going to have a mess around with that and see what I can find out, and come through here. We will get back to that. I'm not really sure why it would be doing such a thing, but we will find out. I will run these down to the yard, and we will get them unloaded, and then... Oh, and you can also see the frame rates. I had people that wanted to see the frame rates near all the small bales. So I'll show you the frame rates near all the small bales, and then we will go home for the night, and we can have a look at... And hopefully I can solve the mystery of that extra tank capacity for the seed drill. We'll see. Right, I've run at an almost constant 60 frames a second. That's just one thing that I've got with this computer of mine. I am able to have a full 60 frames a second almost continuously. Unless there's something going wrong, or we've got some serious issues with a laggy object or something like that, we get 60 frames a second. But when you get really close to all these small bales, and there's a lot of these small bales... Now, I need to try and squeeze in here. Not like that. Right, this is going to be slightly unrealistic because I don't want to spend too much time doing this, so I'm just going to nudge that one out the way. Pretend you didn't see that. We're doing that a lot today. Come on up through here. And, right. Now I'm hoping that we can just go running up through. And I've gotten stuck again. I probably should have come in from the other way. But I wanted to show you... Yeah, come on, don't get stuck. I'm supposed to be showing... Look, trailer, you need to help me out here. I'm supposed to be showing all the good people the really cool stuff. There we go. Whoa! That's what I'm talking about. All of the bales have now suddenly become independent objects on the map rather than just static stored information. And as soon as that happens, this is what happens to my PC. I'm down on 17 frames a second. If I try to do too much... Oh, 25. And there, as soon as I start moving away from them, back up to my 60. So we are doing okay. So that is what people wanted to see. I don't actually remember my PC specs. For those of you who were asking what my PC specs were, I'm sorry, but I don't remember. Now, I'm going to unload these and then try to load them again instantly. Like that, so that they don't go absolutely everywhere. And then I need to go B. Oh no, I need to stop loading first. Then B. And we're going to just drop them out to the side here, I think. Unload them there. And then I'll do the same with this next one. I'm actually dragging a bale. I'll have to jump out and sort that out in a minute. Put that one... If I come forward a little bit further. There. And now I'm going to have to load... No, I don't. I don't have to load. Do I? Yeah, I'll try loading them. I don't know what I did now. Right. Is that right? I think I've done that right. And then B. Oh, no. Now try. It would help if I had the correct trailer. Let's try it now. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I want to stop loading. And then I want to press B to put them out that side. And then unload them, and we're done. Right. I will park this one up. And then I will meet you in the morning back up at the dealership. We'll see if we can find out what the problem is with the seed drill. Right then. First of all, I found out what was causing the issue. It was because we still had the Proceed mod installed, so I had to uninstall Proceed mod. Well, not installed, just active on this map. We need the Proceed mod for Sosnovka, but we don't need it for this one, and that's why we couldn't lease it. So that if you have the same issue, that's what's happened. Now, I just tried to empty out the last of the grass in for the sheep here. You'll see we have now just this second run out. Cleanliness is on 0% because of the huge heap of grass I have just tipped there. And water, I put a little bit in, only just managed to get that in there as well. I couldn't have, it wouldn't allow me to just tip normally into the trough with the grass that was in there. So I dumped it in a pile here, and now I'm having to use the Lady Juno here to actually transfer it into the trough. It is working, but this isn't sort of the conventional way of doing it. So I'm not quite sure why it did that. No idea, but that is the last of the grass. We are unfortunately going to have to do a little bit more mowing and gathering of grass and stuff in order to keep the sheep and the cattle fully stocked up with grass. I know that several people said they were getting fed up with seeing so much grass and that, because this was originally going to be an arable map, and now we have sort of progressed onto everything. But as I explained at the end of Sosnovka, or the end of last week in Sosnovka, for those of you who didn't hear, basically I kind of progressed a little bit from my original plans. Obviously we're going to be doing over 100 episodes on this map. We want to mix it up a little bit and have a bit more variation. So now my sort of long-term vision for this channel, or at least for the Farming Simulator episodes, time-lapse will just continue as time-lapse. That will, there's not a lot of change sort of scheduled for that. However, for the Let's Play episodes, basically what I see is this Let's Play at this end of the week, Goldcrest to start with, and then we'll move on to others. This is for medium to large scale farming, so any medium to large scale type of farming, whether whatever country our map is based in, that's what we'll be doing. So we go for medium-sized machinery and then on up to the very big stuff. That doesn't mean to say I'll be doing a map like Rattlesnake on a Let's Play. I don't think it would fit. I don't think it's suitable. I think it would just be too much to try to do under normal Let's Play conditions. I'd have to do too much off-screen in order to make it worthwhile. And then Sosnovka and subsequent replacements at that end of the week, those would be more... those are more, what's the word I'm looking for? Medium to small scale. So we'd use a lot more of the smaller machinery, stuff like that. And that's kind of how I picture that going in that series. Now then, can I attach this one and then another one behind, or does this only go on the front in place of a weight? There's something I'm not actually sure of. Or does it go on behind the seed drill? I don't think it goes behind. There's nothing for it to fit onto behind that one. But does it attach in front of this one and kind of have the thing together, or is it purely front link? Let's lower it down a minute. I got a feeling it's purely front link. So that doesn't actually go together. Yeah, and going by the look of the wheels, those are not trailing wheels. Those are pushing wheels, basically. So if we unhitch that one a minute, we're going to have to leave the front weight here. It's a bit of a shame. I wanted to be able to use it elsewhere. All right, well, we'll leave it here. We'll remember that it's here and we'll come pick it up. Actually, we'll leave it here. We'll completely forget where it is. I'll spend ages hunting around for it. I'll lease another one, and then when I come down to collect it, I'll realise that this one is here. That's probably what is going to happen. That would be a bit more accurate, I think. I've got some seeds of pallets. No, not quite. I got some pallets of seeds. I did get those. I did get pallets of seeds. And a pallet of fertilizer, and we'll fill it up from here. Now, I said previously that I didn't think it was very realistic, dumping the machinery beside it and having it magically transport into the machines. And someone pointed out, well, no, you wouldn't magically tip it into the machines. It's not magic, Frith. But like their father, when they do it, they basically they put the pallets and the bags and that beside, and very often they'll just use a bucket and spoon the stuff in. Makes perfect sense. I didn't actually think of that. So that's what we're doing here. We're just using a bucket and we're spooning seed into the front thing here. And if I press R, that should refill quite nicely. There we go. So this front one should have a capacity, I think, of it's 1600, isn't it? I think it's 1600. There is a full 1000, and we're not even full yet. I'm not going to fill it up. Do I want to fill it up completely? No, I don't. And that is now full completely. So if I put that back on and I lift that one up, that is a good front weight that we got on there now. I'm liking this system. I'm liking the system of having everything all in together. I went a little bit too far there. So if I lower it... Oh, no. I want to go to the rear machine, lower that one down. And can we remove... Right, you can't remove the cover. It doesn't uncover all the little covers. So we just press R to continue refilling that one. How much is it going to put in? Right, let's put most of it in, and that's at 96% full. So then if we go for the last one, how much fertilizer will this one take? It was 1200 in total. Right, so it's actually half fertilizer. So we got 640 and then, well, 2,000 litres of corn in here. So let me lift that one up. Right, I'm going to take this one up to field 1 and we can start planting. We've still got cultivating to get started over at the main farm. But as time is kind of ticking on, I'd like to take a look at this one today. And I really should have done more with this one. I really haven't done enough. I guess tomorrow we'll do this. Actually, yeah, I'll take this up to field 1. We've got it ready now. We've at least sort of uncovered the issue that we did have with it. And I'll go over to the Challenger and the big cultivator, and we'll get started cultivating in the oilseed radish, and we'll finish that. And then tomorrow we can take a good look at this mod and sort of see how it works. And I am very tempted not to cultivate all of the oilseed radishes in. I'm tempted to go back, once we've done field 1, go back via the shop and pick up a cultivator piece as well. So the cultivator goes in front of this one, and then you can sort of do it all in a single pass operation, which I think would be very cool. And just in case you're wondering, I did forget to put my hazards on, and I have found out that I do have to have hazards on when you're in the States. It's not that you have to have your hazard lights on, it's that you have to have a flashing beacon on the outside corner of any machine. So if it's a slow-moving machine, you have to have a flashing beacon. Generally, that's your hazard lights. But if your rotating beacon that you got on the top of the tractor, if you have a rotating beacon on the outside edge, on both outside trailing edges of your machine and the front edge as well, if you have a flashing beacon that is plugged into your beacons, you don't need to turn your hazards on. You have those flashing beacons. So long as you have a hazard light, a flashing hazard light, it doesn't have to be the hazards wired into the tractor. It's got to be a flashing beacon on each corner of the machine. That is what you have to have. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're going to be dealing with this up here tomorrow, not today. I will meet you over with the cultivator. Yeah, I bet you didn't think I could run all the way down there in that short space of time. Way up on top of the mountains up there, all the way down to here. So here we are, back at the yard. We're going to do these 2 fields, and let me just take a quick look at the cultivator bit, because it's 5.4 meters wide, the piece that we've got at the moment, and it's that one there as part of the coon pack. That one is 4 meters, so that's actually narrower. So I'm not certain that would actually fit then. That one is 4 meters. That one is 4 meters. So you can put those two together. You can plow and then you can cultivate on behind. But can you put a sewing machine? There it is. Can you put any of these on? Right, that one there is 5.4 meters. That one is 4 meters. I think it only goes with that one. I don't think it goes with this one. I think this one is separate. Agco 1500 and SB 1600. Right, SB 1600, Agco 1500, wasn't it? Tedder, weeder, cultivator right there. And come back up through here. Right. DC 401, HR 4004. Okay, so you can't, by the look of it. I will investigate that a little more thoroughly. Like that one there, that one's a 6 meter disc. It's a set of discs, basically. And oh, that is my timer to say that I have. Yeah. Anyway, we'll come back to that. I will investigate that further. So let's lower this one down, and if I press H, start cultivating. Cultivates in our oilseed radish. Unfortunately, though, it is a complete and utter waste of time for us because I went and spread fertilizer across the field. And so if you take a look here, we're not getting any benefit from it. No benefit at all. And that field hasn't been ploughed. We're not going to worry about ploughing that one. We're going to do the next crop. But yeah, that is a real shame. We had these planted. They were ready to go. Somebody asked me in the comment section, is it daikon radishes? And I did a little bit of research, and I would assume so. I would assume that is the case. Daikon radishes are used, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly. Probably not. D-A-I-K-O-N, daikon. Daikon radishes are huge, great big white tubers that are popularly, they're used in Japan in popular cuisine. However, in the States and in Europe, they don't tend to be used for cooking very much. They tend to be used as a cover crop like we've got here. And one thing that is often done that you don't see in this game is those tops wouldn't just be cultivated in. You would go over with a mower and you would harvest the leaves as forage, and you would feed that to your animals. I don't know how to be prepared, whether it would be turned into silage or fed fresh as like a zero grazing type thing. I'm not quite certain on that one. However, it would be fed to your animals, and then the tubers that are in the ground, they're the ones that are left to rot. And apparently it's very good for the soil to leave them there and just leave them to rot. They rot quite quickly, but they don't leave any disease, and it's not any issues that the radishes might have are not transferable. It's popular in certain places where root crops are going to follow because the tubers really open up the ground and they go quite deep, and they can remove a hard pan of soil. Now, an issue with modern day agriculture, especially zero-till planting, where you direct drill your crops, is that you form this hard pan just underneath the surface, and it basically the ground becomes very compacted, and it's very difficult for the roots to get down through. It takes a lot more energy and so on for the roots to get through, and so your crops become stunted. It becomes a serious issue. It has a major impact on your crops. And what these radishes help to do, they can actually help to break up this hard pan just underneath the surface. So they are really useful, and they are starting to become more widespread in use for things such as breaking up the hard pan. And that is also why you see a lot of cultivating going on these days. Even in the States, it's becoming more common now to see a bit more extensive cultivating than used to be done. The benefits of zero-till planting are numerous. However, there are disadvantages, and most of these disadvantages are more long-term than short-term, and they are starting to become known. And so things like planting this radish is one of the ways to sort of combat these issues that are starting to present themselves. So there you go. I didn't know that until someone asked me what sort of radishes these were, and so I thought I would just share that little tidbit of information with you. I thought it was quite interesting myself. So we will continue with this. I'm just going to set that one going in there, and we'll probably tomorrow pretty much carry on right where we've left off here. So let me just stop that one because he's going to try and go in a way that we don't want him to. I will investigate that coon pack properly to make sure that we don't try to mix anything up. I've got a feeling that we can't mix the row crop seeder with pretty much anything else. I think that you're looking at the fertilizer spreaders more than anything else. So we will investigate this. I'll carry this. Actually, let's just put this one. I'll investigate that tomorrow, or ready for tomorrow, so that I can fill you all in and hopefully correct some of my ignorance there. Right. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. Before I go, my weekly question. I am going to be doing some forestry fairly soon, and I am going to be buying one of these placeables. I thought we'd take a turn with these. So we have the Heizomat heating plant, which we would place back here at the farm. We would have to get a wood chipper, and we would shred a load of the logs, bring them back here and tip them in there. Or we could get the Jenz HE700. Now this is another placeable. This one we place nearer to the forest, and we don't have to convert anything into wood chips. We put the logs directly into that. It converts them into wood chips and sells them directly, so you don't actually see any wood chips at all. Now, I will say that while I'm doing the forestry, I'll be using a new mod that is on the mod hub now. It can basically it adds sawdust into the equation, and you get the sawdust in the form of wood chips. So we'll be making wood chips when we're doing our sawing using the Scorpion and that sort of thing. I thought that would be a really cool mod to take a look at. We will do some logging anyway. We'll take some logs up to the logging sell point just to sort of see it in action, have a go with the trains, that kind of thing. And then, depending on which one of these you pick, will depend on the style of logging that we do in the forest. And the two styles will be quite different. So have a careful think about how you want this done. You'll essentially... it's going to be quite a different approach to the two different things that we're going to be doing. And I won't be doing the other one. I'll tell you about it, but I won't be doing it. So pick carefully. Think carefully about which one you'd like to see. Would you like me to just put this one back near the farm and have to deal with the wood chips and that myself, make them and bring them back, or do you want me to put them into here? So it's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want. Don't forget to actually mouse over in the top right hand corner to actually cast your vote, and we will do whichever one you want. Right, I think that is everything, so I will see you tomorrow. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.